Hello, everyone. It's really nice to see you all here. And I also see some faces here on my second screen. You don't see them, but I do see them on the screen. And I have to admit, it's going to be a real challenge today to have this lecture because you are here. Then we do have direct conversation via Skype. There is a filming going on here, and people from virtual world will also ask some questions. So, but we will try to manage, and I hope we will, right? Good. So, as you can probably already guess, my name is Aivars Timofejevs, and I will be the one who will entertain you. No, not that much entertain, but talk to you, have a lecture, and interact with you on the topic you might have expected, and the topic is social entrepreneurship. So, are you ready? Good. Then let's get started. Now we have a challenge to change slides. Okay. Now it should work. So what is it we are going to do for today? Well, we'll start with a little bit of basics and basics about entrepreneurship. Because I think that we can't talk about social entrepreneurship unless we do understand what entrepreneurship in general is all about. And that is what will act as a point of departure for our conversation today. Then, as a next step, we will talk about three things and try to understand what's the difference between the classical entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, and CSR. Who knows what CSR stands for? Corporate social responsibility. Those are three things that you have to understand and you have to distinguish if you want to put the right things in right boxes and really make sure that your ideas that you will develop for the contest will be ideas related to social entrepreneurship and not classical entrepreneurship and not corporate social responsibility. Then, as a next, we will talk about the difference between idea and business idea. Because quite often we talk, I have a very good idea, or I have a very good business idea, but there are some certain, and I would say significant differences that you need to know when you talk about idea and business idea. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about to make sure that, again, you know what is what and what's the difference. Then we'll also talk about people, because when we look at social entrepreneurship, it's very important that we clearly and explicitly understand and distinguish what are the people involved and what is their role. Because in social entrepreneurship, one of the biggest differences to any other types of entrepreneurship is variety of people involved, both in terms of who is working in the company, whom is company serving, and whom company is interacting with. So we will talk about people and target groups, and we will talk about stakeholders. And last but not least, as a kind of kick off for you to start working and thinking, we'll talk about the main task for you until the next lecture, which will be pretty soon on 14th of February. And I will try to emphasize and I will try to explain what is important and where to start with in order to get going and in order to understand what is social entrepreneurship and how to develop a valid, feasible, sustainable social enterprise. Okay? Good. Dear colleagues who are connected on Skype, in case you have some questions, you can either write in chat or raise your hand. because I see that majority of you have muted your microphones, which I would say thank you for. But if you have a questions, then you can write in chat or raise a hand, and then I will see that you want to say something. Here, rules are very simple for you. If you have a question, just raise your hand, right? Okay, good. Entrepreneur, born or educated? What do you think? Both. Who said both? Can you teach, can you learn, can you become a successful entrepreneurship if you are not born to be one?
You can learn it in school, pretty much.
Exactly. And that was my idea. Why did I start with this one? Kind of to encourage you a little bit more in the very beginning. Forget about all those stories that if you are not born entrepreneur, you can't be one. Right? You can learn, you can develop all the necessary skills, no matter whether you're going for social entrepreneurship, classical entrepreneurship. If you do have a wish and intention to do something in the field, you can learn it and you can do it. And that was kind of the point which I wanted to emphasize, just to get ourselves on the same ground and on the same base, that everyone here in this room can become entrepreneur. Social, classical, no matter. Okay? Agreed? Agreed?
Yes.
Okay, good. Every time when we talk about entrepreneurship and businesses, we always start talking about opportunities. And that really is a cornerstone when we talk about entrepreneurship, is to understand that opportunities are actually the most significant variable or the most significant factor that determines entrepreneurial success, that determines entrepreneurial opportunities and success of the company. But here is one thing I would like to emphasize again, especially when we talk about social entrepreneurship. Opportunities can be of two types. One, really existing, some necessity, some need, whatever. Someone wants to buy a car. Yes, there is a need. Someone, and you provide this person with a car. Someone wants to get a haircut. There is a need. You provide that. So there is a certain practical need. However, you can also create opportunities, meaning that people do not know, people are not aware of the needs they do have. Could you try, please, to imagine or try to exemplify the case which most likely you have seen out on the streets recently, very rapidly growing company, which we did not know for 3 years ago, and we couldn't imagine that such a need exists. It was, to a large extent, really created need. Any ideas? What could it be? Car sharing. Car Guru. Have you seen? Who could imagine, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, that you would have such a service? No one. But now it exists, it grows, because people thought, okay, you don't need to own a car, you don't need to rent a car, you can just jump in the car, drive for a bit, and then leave it again. So, such an opportunity to use a car for a short distance, for a short period of time, without any hassle of renting or buying, was to a large extent created. And you would see a lot of those examples if you look at virtual world and digital world. A lot of products, digital products, are created artificially, I would say. Okay? Let's move on. The basic definition, there are plenty of them actually, but the one I took here is, in my opinion, the most relevant one and appropriate for our case. The essence is to develop a business idea out of the existing idea and implement the business plan. And all that is done for profit and for personal interest. So that is the definition that we'll work with when we think about kind of umbrella for all kinds of entrepreneurship, which is the definition. Turn the idea into the business idea. Because even in social entrepreneurship, we need to define the business idea. There should be profit. How it is utilized, that's a different story. We'll talk about this later. But the essence is that you need to make money, even in social entrepreneurship. You need to turn your idea into the business idea that is generating some profits or some income. Okay? And you need a business plan to do it. What are the drivers to start? Do you recognize those guys? Why do you think Niklas Zenström started Skype? Because he didn't have money to pay his phone bills. So they started to experiment with computers. How can we get connected via computer, via internet, free of charge? Social need. Facebook. You recognize the guy? What is it he wanted? Money? No. He wanted to communicate with friends. He wanted to stay in touch with friends. And he created Facebook. Recognize this guy? Richard Branson. Young still. He wanted to conquer world, space, Virgin, all this, the huge international company. He just kind of went for whatever he wanted to do. He wanted to develop himself. And that was, again, to motivate you a bit more to see that it's not only I want to go for money issue when we talk about entrepreneurship. And in particular, when we will talk more about social entrepreneurship, then of course, social need and need for personal development will be prevailing in most of the cases. Not to mix up and mess up between entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship, we do have corporate social responsibility. Why I'm talking about this? Because unfortunately, far too often, corporate social responsibility is mixed up with social entrepreneurship. If I would ask you instantly, what do you think? What is the main difference between corporate social responsibility and social entrepreneurship?
Social with people, just normal people, and corporal is with potential another entrepreneurship, something like that, no?
Not quite. Yeah, it's more or less all there. But in a nutshell, the essence of the difference is that when we talk about corporate social responsibility, the profit is absolutely the main undoubted priority. Company earns money. Yes, they do see that there are some problems outside. They do see that they can make some changes in society. They are aware that the results will have an impact, but that's it. They earn money, they spend money for social needs, support some certain disadvantaged group, whatever. But again, they still stick to the profits and to the very core of the business. And that is not the case for social entrepreneurship, because for social entrepreneurship, profits is not the goal. Profit is a tool to make even more good things. So, what is a social entrepreneurship then? We talked about entrepreneurship, we talked about CSR. Now let's define what is a social entrepreneurship. So, sorry, still recovering from our famous virus. So, hopefully my voice comes back. Yes, it does. In social entrepreneurship, we utilize business techniques or business approach to solve some social problem or some social problems. We can also make some more general contribution to the society, in particularly looking at some disadvantaged group who needs support. And here, one of the main opportunities to distinguish between CSR and social entrepreneurship is to involve those people that you want to help to involve them in the business. In corporate social responsibility, those people in need will stand out, they will get some support, they will get some money, but they are not involved. In social entrepreneurship, most often people will be involved in the business, in the idea. Here is a question, but let's keep that question for later, because we have to speed up a bit my talking, because the plan is that we should be done with single talking by 10 minutes past 4, quarter past 4, and then we will have more interactive discussions about your ideas and what to do. Some very good examples. You can look up them in internet. This is Estonian company who is providing delivery service for farmers. They collect products from farmers and deliver to cities. They are kind of helping farmers. Otra Alpa, used clothes are sold for profit, but the profit is donated. This is more interesting. Lude. The company is using old textiles. Sorry? Okay. Is it better now if I stand here and talk to computer? Can you hear me now better? Okay. I have to keep myself steady. I will try to do that. Very, very difficult if you are used to move around, but the microphone is there. Yes, Lude using old textiles to develop new textiles, to develop carpets, and old ladies, very often unemployed or socially disadvantaged, are doing this work. This is blind art, also a good example when people with sight problems or even blind people are creating different textiles, bags, carpets, and things like that. And this is a Norwegian case, Eppelslang, which is my absolute favorite because it is win-win-win-win case, I would say. What they do, they involve, they involve handicapped people to collect apples. Very often those apples are collected from gardens that belong to pensioners, older people who cannot collect apples themselves. They make apple juice. from these apples that is being sold afterwards, and the money is distributed between the target groups, mainly handicapped people. So pensioners are getting rid of apples in their gardens. They get also some share of apple juice instead. Handicapped people are collecting those apples and getting paid. They are socializing. They are busy with what they do. They earn some money or they get some apple juice. People who buy this apple juice, what is the benefit for them? Because it's quite an expensive product, but people still buy it. What is the benefit for them?
It's natural.
They support the company.
Exactly. They support the idea, they support the company, they know that they are also, by buying this apple juice, they are doing something good. So that is why this is my favorite, because it's really a win-win-win-win case for pensioners, for gardeners, for handicapped people, for people who buy it, and also for people who own the company. And I do hope that your ideas will be at least as good as this one. Okay? But you can strive for better. You're young, you still have very bright and creative ideas, and I do hope that you will be able to develop those ideas into the winning plan. Right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I want to hear more convincing response and not just shy nodding with your heads. Okay, let's move on, and I do have to find my mouse. Yes, here it is. What are the main attributes of social entrepreneurship when you look at it? First of all, you focus on change and improvement. Because if you can't change something, if you can't improve life or well-being of certain target group, then you are not in social entrepreneurship. Profit is not the primary goal. Profit is a tool to make those changes, to make the improvement. In case you still make some profit, you don't keep that profit, but you again reinvest the profit again to come back to making change. Various interests are satisfied. Again, it's not a classical relation between I'm buying, paying money, the company is earning money and making profits. That's it. Here, a lot more target groups and various interests are satisfied. As you could hear half a minute ago about Apple Slang case. How many groups could you identify there, which I mentioned? How many groups?
3 or 4.
At least 3, right? Pensioners owning gardens, handicapped people, people who buy the products, company who is owning this business. But of course, also municipality is very happy about what is happening. Sorry. So keep that in mind. And actually now I wanted to show you a very short video and about how to make your idea, or how to, what steps are to be made for social enterprise development. Hope it works. No, it doesn't.
Do you have what it takes to be a social entrepreneur? A lot of people talk about things they'd like to see changed in the world.
Yeah.
but not everyone
Wait.
does it. There are 6 things that all social entrepreneurs have in common. 1, they saw something wrong in the world and they got upset enough to solve the problem. 2, social entrepreneurs are really good.
Multiple screens, you know. So it's not that
But coming up,
simple.
do you have what it takes to be a social entrepreneur? A lot of people talk about things they'd like to see changed in the world, but not everyone does it. There are 6 things that all social entrepreneurs have in common. 1. They saw something wrong in the world and they got upset enough to want to solve the problem. 2. Social entrepreneurs are really good at coming up with creative ways to solve problems. They understand that the problem still exists because the old way of doing things didn't work. 3. Social entrepreneurs are flexible and are willing to make changes to their plans so that they achieve their goals. It's been said that 90% of successful businesses start out with the wrong business plan. 4. Social entrepreneurs are really good at bringing different people who have different ideas, experiences and skills together to form a team to create a new kind of business. 5. They are not in it only for the money. Social entrepreneurs are not trying
profit.
to become millionaires, but trying to solve problems to improve the lives of millions of people. It's about using a business to put right the problems in society. 6. Social entrepreneurs are excited about the difference they're making. They eat, breathe and sleep their business. Their excitement gets other people excited to make a difference too. So, social entrepreneurs identify problems in communities, think creatively, are not afraid of change, build teams and stay committed till the identified problem is resolved.
Okay, more entertaining way of telling things, but more or less all the stuff is still the same. Make change, involve people, don't think about profits, be creative, be innovative, and be flexible on the way. Okay. Now, let's get kind of more focused and narrow down to the tasks that you will have to do. So, idea and business idea. What's the difference? Well, idea is more of a static imagination of something. I would like to be, I don't know, something. Or would be great to have a shop. Or I will have a restaurant. My restaurant will be different from others. Yeah, maybe it's different, but it's still kind of a static imagination that I will have a Chicago-style restaurant, which is not a new style, but still. But if we want to get to business idea, all of a sudden it becomes dynamic. If I want a shop, if I want a restaurant, if I want to go to space, I need to have a plan how I will get there. Not only the destiny, but also the plan how to get there. That is a very crucial and very important difference. Money and resources. It's not enough only to imagine that I will have a restaurant. You need to think where to get money, where to get resources to get that restaurant. You need to plan all those resources. You need to plan how much money you will need. So all of a sudden, it becomes more integrated and much wider compared to the idea, because then you need to think about a lot of other things. How to get there over time, what kind of resources do you need, how much money, whom you will have to involve, other people in this business, because most likely you will not be able to get there alone, etc., etc. So that is what I would like you to make sure that you clearly and explicitly distinguish what is the difference. Because if you will be talking about your idea as something static without a plan how to get there, then we can't talk about really a business case. And if you do not have this plan, then you will not be able to assess resources and you will not be able to make the change that you want to make in case of social entrepreneurship. Okay? Because you will need money, you will need a business approach to make this money, to make the change. Okay. Any questions so far? No. Everything is clear. So. Okay. Now you know what social entrepreneurship is, right?
Somewhat extent, yeah.
To some extent. Good. Okay. Next step, kind of digging deeper and going down. We know what's the difference between idea and business idea. We know what social entrepreneurship is all about. We know what is the difference between classical entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. We know that we need money to make the change. But then, to whom? To whom we want to make this change? Older people, very often disadvantaged in pension, having low income. From the previous example I show, Lude is a classical example for this. They employ pensioners to create different new textiles from the used textiles. Disabled people who cannot get the job otherwise. Social risk groups like poor people, uneducated people, unemployed people, also single people or orphans should be kind of in the sight when you look for to whom you want to make change. There can be also some other groups, but first of all, of course, I wanted to mention those four. But then, next step is to understand, okay, now we know which is a disadvantaged group. But then the question is, what is it they expect? What will be the added value for them that you will bring? What kind of benefits you will bring to them? And that is the key word I would like you to remember when you think about your target groups and when you analyze to whom you want to make changes. Benefits. If you cannot identify clear benefit for the target group, then you do not have a clear vision of what is it you want to change. For example, my favorite Apple slang case. What are the benefits sorry, they bring and to whom?
Workplaces for disabled.
Workplaces for disabled. What else?
Having something like will change not only people in these kind of groups, some agree help in the nature,
Yes.
and also in this area.
Absolutely, yes. What else? What else? What could be the benefits for? Okay, they get some apples, yes.
To reduce food waste. Use.
Environmental benefit, absolutely, yes.
People has an opportunity to help people.
Socializing, yes. See? Simple case, but already how many benefits we have managed to identify. People get job, people get paid, people are socializing, which is not very often the case, especially for handicapped people. We provide environmental impact because apples are being collected and utilized instead of just leaving them in the garden to rotten. Pensioners are getting their gardens cleaned up from apples. People who buy this apple juice, they have a benefit of getting the feeling that they contribute to the society. So, as you see, for each and every target group that we talk about, we have to list, we have to know what will be the benefit that we will bring to this target group. So again, and again, if there is only one thing you will remember from this lecture, it should be benefit to the target group. Identify benefits and know what you will bring to the target group. What would be the benefits? Okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
Any questions? No. Good. Yes? Question from Skype audience? Or? No? No question? Okay. Okay. Next time when we'll meet, again, we will have a lecture and a discussion. But to make this discussion more productive and more fruitful, I would like to ask you to do the homework. Namely, define and elaborate your idea. So, what is the goal? Where is it you want to end up? What will be the path, how you will get to that goal? What is needed to develop your idea into the business idea? Think about the business model. In other words, how the money and services will rotate. And when I'm talking about business model, at this stage you don't have to elaborate explicitly what will happen. But what I think will be very, very beneficial for you if you can make a kind of a picture of what will be your business model. In this picture, it shouldn't be complicated. It should be rather pretty simple. You identify main target groups. You draw the arrows when you see there is a linkage between the target group or the company. And you identify what will be the benefits from the company to the target group and what will be returned from the target group to the company. Not always the money, but money should be there as well. Okay? So take a blank piece of paper, A4, and just draw the picture. Who are the stakeholders? Who are involved target groups? Where is your company? What would be the benefits that you bring to the target group, to whom you want to make change? And what are the interaction mechanisms? In other words, how you exchange benefits and what you exchange benefits for. Yes, finally the question. Thank you.
I actually have two questions.
Good.
So,
So, one second. Yes. 2 questions here. So the next asking 3 questions, right? Good? Deal. Think about questions.
first of all, do we have to work in groups? So we have only one picture for 5 people.
Well, how many ideas you have? 1 picture per idea.
Oh, okay. Okay. And the second one is, do we have to draw by hand or we can make it
Honestly,
on
I don't care.
Okay.
The essence is that next time when I will come to you, I would like to see this picture. If you make it on computer, by hand, on piece of paper, doesn't matter for me. But the essence, what I want and what I want to get to is to make sure that you understand and you really manage this art of mapping of the
We have
idea.
to find the problem by ourselves, right? So you don't give us any problem, like for example,
That is something that I have in my back pocket that we can discuss during second part of today's lecture. What are the problems? What do you see outside as a problem? So we'll work on we'll work on this, and if you don't have the idea, we'll discuss how to get there. Yes.
Maybe something that we can implement as students or something more general.
Be ambitious. Well, let's put it like this. There are two groups of people in more or less every country who cannot kind of meet. Entrepreneurs are crying that they cannot get money for the implementation of their idea. And investors who have loads and loads of money and they can't find interesting ideas to invest to. To answer your question, if you will have a good, innovative, creative, sustainable idea, don't worry, investors will find you themselves. And be ambitious. It shouldn't be only the ideas that you as a student can implement. Because if the idea is good, you'll have a team, you'll get more people involved, and you will be able to develop it in much larger scale. But again, new, innovative, interesting idea is absolutely necessary precondition. Okay? Next question. Okay. Then the lecturing part is over. Do we have any questions from the Skype audience? Do we have anybody on Skype who is listening to us?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. Are there any questions from the Skype audience?
Sorry, how much time we got to do this homework?
Could you please repeat?
How much time do we have to do this homework?
Well, next lecture will be on 14th of sorry, February. So you have more or less 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. More questions? So this is a group in Riga now, also. Okay. So now let's get working. Now let's get going. And first, a question from my side: who is already having some idea about the change you want to make in society? Wiki. So, no ideas whatsoever. Yes?
I sort of have, but I haven't defined clearly for myself what I want to check.
Okay.
But I have thought about it.
Okay. What is the problem you want to solve?
Well, as I said, it's kind of difficult to define it clearly. So I'm
No.
still working on that.
Well, no. Tell me, which is a group you're aiming at, and what is the problem for this group? What is it you want to solve?
Well, I'm thinking more of mindset changing for young people, but that's not maybe for social entrepreneurs.
Why do you need to change mindset for younger people?
Because a lot of people are very stressed and negative, and they destroy themselves from inside.
Okay. So you want to cope with stress.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That is really a problem. How are you going to do that?
Well, that's what I'm thinking about starting.
Okay. What do you think, what is the origin of the stress? Why are people stressed?
I think it's mainly mindset, because to all things you can look from both negative and positive side.
Yes, but still kind of stress. Where does it come from? Why are people stressed?
Well, from things that are happening in their lives and the way they react
Okay. And where do you see the opportunity to make the change?
Sorry, again?
Where do you see the opportunity to change something? How are you going to make sure that young people are not stressed, or at least not that stressed anymore?
Well, I don't know that.
Okay. But again, yes, there is a problem. Young people are stressed. But then you can use a brilliant, simple, but very functional word, why. Ask why until you cannot ask any why anymore. And then at that stage you'll get to the basic understanding, what is the origin of the problem? Why is it happening? Because what you are saying is, it's not kind of, it is a problem, but more on the upper layer. But you need to understand the core, the origin. Okay, more ideas. What is it you want to change in the world, in society? What is it you want to change?
Mentally disabled people have difficulties with finding a job.
Okay.
So I know there already exist some projects that help them, but it isn't that like that much.
Okay.
So we can make some organization that can help them to get a job.
Okay. And how that will happen? What will you do to help them to find a job?
Maybe I can connect to them with people who would give them a job, and then prove that they are able to do the work.
Okay. But if you, it's more kind of brokerage and maybe a bit of a classical approach. But if you would try to think out of the box a little more, how could you build your social enterprise to involve more people in a more innovative way? Not only kind of, okay, we'll make the club that will help disabled or mentally sick people to find a job. Well, it's a bit too simple. I would expect some more creative idea.
Okay, I will think about it.
Let's do it now together. All of you. What could be done to involve more people and to make this kind of more innovative and more unusual way of helping people? Yes?
People who are financially stable could help out those mentally disabled.
Okay. Financially stable people can help.
By giving them jobs to do like housework or something.
Okay, giving them job as a housework, good. What else? In the same direction, but maybe a bit more global thinking. Let's imagine some huge international company buying products from the supplier in Latvia or Estonia or Sweden. How can you motivate this huge international company to buy products from the company that employs handicapped or mentally disabled people?
By giving them a reason to buy it.
Exactly. So big international companies, quite often within their CSR policy, are defining the suppliers they want to see. So the same idea, wealthy big companies can support smaller companies that are employing certain amount of the target group. What else? Anyone like games?
Yeah.
If you would think about game or gaming approach, can you imagine some way how this problem can be solved? As a game. Yes. What else? Okay, you can make competition. You can make some kind of betting. You can make interactive games. You can even maybe involve those people in playing games and explaining how they are playing. In other words, game and the concept of gamification is also something that can give you a boost for more innovative and more creative ideas. So again, what I want to hear from you and what I want to see when you present your ideas and when you tell about your ideas next time, think out of the box. Think globally. Think about the broadest picture you can. Not only, here's my company and here is a target group and that is what I want to do for the target group. Okay? Let's move on and think about some more ideas for those people. We discussed that wealthy people could support them by providing jobs. Okay, but wealthy people maybe not always want to provide them with a job. Wealthy people maybe just want to show off that they are supporting disabled people or disadvantaged people. How can you provide this benefit for wealthy people?